All right. Sorry about that. I just went over my time limit, and so I got cut off. But anyways, let's proceed where we left off. So the vulnerable populations that I found within my research um, is that females tend to be more stressed than males, although it didn't really state why. But also within the lifespan of an individual, millennials, so people within the early 20s and mid 30s, tend to be a lot more stressed than anybody above 37. Um, but so that is just basically what the research stated. Although I do believe that almost everyone is vulnerable to stress because, life is just very stressful, and yeah. And so some of the coping mechanisms are basically dealing with our emotions and physically dealing with the issue. So for our emotions, a lot of people tend to seek emotional support that can sometimes be done through their family, their friends, or any close relatives, or whoever the individual feels more comfortable speaking with. Religion is also a very common way that people tend to manage their stress. Active coping can also mean just doing the things that you enjoy and that are just naturally stress relievers for you. And so, for physically dealing with the issue, um, that often just means having that understanding of how you can overcome that specific issue. So, therefore, planning the way that you are going to deal with it can just be really helpful in order to manage that stimulus. So, as nurses, what we could do is to help our patients is to listen, because oftentimes people talk to you and they want to be listened. Oftentimes they don't really want for an opinion or a resolution to whatever they may be going through. So sometimes it's just depending on what they need. Just listen is just very important. Also, for any procedures that they may be going through, it is extremely necessary to explain to them every single um, procedure, or just in high detail that they can still comprehend, because that'll let them know that you understand everything that is actually being done to them. And so we can also help our patients manage stress by showing them and how to do it rather than just telling them. So that can be very beneficial as well. The nursing profession is known to be really a stressful environment. And so the best way that we as future nurses um, can do to prepare ourselves for this is just mentally be prepared for all those difficult circumstances that we may confront. Um, Hourly rounding is really important as well for the patients, because that lets them know that they are your main priority, and so therefore that makes them feel more secure. And depending on the person, you could also use humor in order to make them feel more comfortable, but that may not always be the case, just depending on the patient or the person that you have. And so empathy is also, and I can't stress this enough, one of the biggest ways that you can help a person, because um, oftentimes they talk to you about their problems and they just expect a judgment free understanding of whatever it is that they are telling you. So for us, it's important for us to not be judgmental and just help them in the best way possible. So for me, I normally didn't stress out a lot in the past, but now that I got into nursing school, that has drastically increased. But the biggest takeaway that I had, or that I have had taken from that, is that it's really important to make time for yourself, because um, that just allows you to care for your body and for your mental health. Because as I explained earlier, it can have stress can have very it can have deadly effects on you, and so therefore, I mean, you can't really do any of those tasks if you're not alive or if you're not well. So just taking care of yourself is the biggest thing that I learned. So always make time for yourself and your family, or whatever it is that makes you happy. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you for listening.